Hello, this is Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, and I'm really excited about this walkthrough. This is one of my favorite games. I've played it many times, so let's get started.
Welcome to my latest case, Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. To start, choose Dear Hannah. Here I am at the railroad station along with a handful of other detectives about to board a train bound for who knows where. The only person who knows where we're going is Lori Gerard. That's the young woman who invited everyone. Actually, she didn't really invite me. She invited Frank and Joe Hardy, and they invited me. And I've always wanted to join forces with the Hardy Boys. I just hope this doesn't turn out to be another one of Lori's silly attempts to grab publicity. Some people can be a little too rich and a little too famous for their own good. Wish me luck. Love, Nancy.
Well, people, now that our little orientation tour is over, let's get started. Okay, I, again, am Lori Gerard, and the first thing I want to do is thank you all for coming. John Gray, I am so thrilled that you're taking time out from that TV show of yours to do some ghost hunting here with us. I mean, Ghost Chasers is like the best cable show ever. And Charlena Purcell, I cannot tell you how much I adore those romance novels you write. Your characters just seem so real. And all that stuff you know about the Old West, you are just awesome. And Tino Balducci, only the most famous police detective in the country. And then there's Frank and Joe Hardy. They're amateur detectives. My dad and their dad are old friends. And you must be the other amateur detective, their friend? Natalie?
Nancy. Nancy Drew?
Whatever. All right, I'll bet you're wondering where we're going. Well, we're going to Copper Gorge, Colorado. Why? To solve the mystery of what happened to Jake Hurley, the man who originally owned this train. Because see, one day in 1903, this train was found in a place called Blue Moon Canyon, which was out in the middle of the Nevada desert. Only the engineer was on board, and he was dead. As for Jake Hurley, he had disappeared from the face of the earth. Oh, and two more things. Before he disappeared, Jake was rumored to have found the richest gold mine in the world. And the train he owned, this train, his wife Camille died on it while they were going to the gold fields. It was rumored to be haunted.
She's gone.
Oh my gosh.
What in the world?
Hey, what's going on?
People should never go tampering with things they don't understand.
Oh, brother.
It's okay. Everybody just stay calm. No need to panic. I'll get to the bottom of this.
Well, Nancy, you're up on all that social etiquette stuff. What are you supposed to do when your hostess vanishes into thin air?
If I don't seem concerned, it's because I'm not. Lori Gerard is a young woman whose only goal in life is to be famous. She craves attention and habitually uses her father's considerable wealth to get it.
So you think her disappearing like that is just some kind of publicity stunt?
I just think she couldn't resist showing off in front of all of us minor celebrities. What was your name again?
Nancy Drew. You and I have actually met. Sort of. I called you not too long ago when I was at Shadow Ranch. You gave me some information about Dirk Valentine.
Ah, Nancy Drew.
You don't remember me, do you?
No.
What else do you know about Jake Hurley?
Psst, Nancy! Come here!
Excuse me for a second.
The sound is fluctuating so much.
Hey, Nance.
Where have you two been?
I followed Tino Balducci.
And I went after John Gray. He went straight to the room in the car that used to be Camille's and didn't come out again. I could hear all these weird noises coming from inside.
Any idea what he was doing?
I was just about to go in, but the next thing I know, Joe's got my arm in a vice grip and is dragging me back here, babbling about how Balducci's our guy.
He found something on the floor right where Lori was standing when the train went dark. I saw him pick it up and put it in his pocket. Then he left.
Did you ask him about it?
When I tried to talk to him, he just kind of brushed me aside and said something snotty like, "I'm on the job here, Junior, so just go back to the playground and stay out of the way." In case you two hadn't noticed, we're not getting a lot of respect around here. Can't we at least tell Balducci that we do stuff for ATAC?
You know the rules.
ATAC?
American Teens Against Crime. We do a lot of undercover work for them.
Wonder Cop's probably never even been undercover.
Joe, let it go. What'd Charlena have to say?
She thinks Lori is faking this whole disappearance thing.
She's not the only one.
How can you say that? You heard Lori scream.
Anybody can scream, Joe. Especially girls whose fathers have given them acting lessons along with everything else they've ever wanted.
What about you, Nancy? What do you think?
I kind of agree with Frank.
You've got to be kidding.
Has anyone talked to the engineer?
Not that I know of.
Then I'm going to head up front and tell him what's happened. Maybe he knows something we don't.
Good idea. In the meantime, we'll take another look around in here.
Great. Catch you later.
Let's talk to the engineer. You just on this.
Engineer, what do you want?
Hello, I'm one of the passengers, and I just thought you should know that Lori Gerard has disappeared.
So?
Did you know she was going to disappear?
Hey, all I know is I take orders from Miss Gerard, okay? Right now my orders are to get this train to Copper Gorge non-stop. But until Miss Gerard tells me otherwise, that's what I'm gonna do.
But Lori may not even be on the train anymore.
Look, Miss Gerard may not be a rocket scientist or anything, but even she knows better than to jump off a moving train.
But...
Now, if you'll excuse me, I got me a train to run.
He was very unhelpful. Oh, okay, so Lori Gerard has disappeared, and we're gonna try to find her. Frank
What have you
and
got?
Joe are amazing.
Do you think maybe one of Lori's other
I
guests
love
is in
that.
on her
They're so clever in this
disappearance?
game.
It's certainly possible.
From the way she talked, it didn't sound like she knew any of them.
Maybe that's what she wanted us to think.
Or maybe that's what one of them wanted her to think.
Well, whether Lori disappeared by force or by choice, what we've got to do now is find her.
Absolutely.
Talk to you later.
You better.
And we have Charlena Purcell from Secret of Shadow Ranch.
Yes?
What are you working on?
I'm writing
Which
my
is
next
fun.
book. I'm on a deadline, so until I write those two most wonderful of all three-letter words, the end, everywhere I go, my laptop goes, and every chance I get, I write.
What else do you know about Jake Hurley? You know, the man who originally owned this train?
Wealthy, imaginative, adventurous, stubborn, egocentric, and most importantly, he was smitten at the age of 35 by a young French woman named Camille Voulet, who died about a year after they were married.
When did he buy this train?
Sometime in the 1870s, he decided to seek his fortune out west, so he had this train custom built so that he, and some years later his wife, could traverse the mountains and plains in relative comfort.
Where did he meet Camille?
I don't know that. The circumstances surrounding her passing are a bit of a mystery, too. All anyone knows for sure is that years after Camille's death, he showed up in Denver with a pouch full of gold nuggets and semi-precious stones, which he used to purchase mining supplies. He refused to say how he'd come by them, which of course led to speculation that he had found a fantastically rich vein somewhere. Although to this day, its existence remains unsubstantiated, and its location quite unknown.
Why do you think Lori invited you on this trip?
No doubt because I'm such an authority on life in the Old West, and because I'm so good at using old information to unearth new information. My knack for research is, well, it's a gift.
I'll touch bases with you later.
All right, then.
Charlena is actually probably the most boring character in this
Is this
one.
Jake and his wife?
Yes. From what I've read, Camille loved to sing and dance, even in death, apparently. Jake reportedly told people that after she died, he would sometimes see strange glowing lights outside the windows at night, bobbing gracefully alongside the train as if dancing with it. He said he found the sight very comforting. I suspect normal people would have found it terrifying.
And we can look
Sadie
at a
Crawford.
few things in here. Explore.
It looks like there's something behind this painting, but I can't seem to move it.
Clue for a puzzle later on.
A square and a duck. It looks like this thing opens up. But how?
That we can
Looks
open
like some sort
later.
of steam valve.
And we'll use that later. This is the exit, so we don't need to open that. And first order of business is to talk to all the characters, which is the usual first order of business, and explore.
Pretty. Looks like some kind of gemstone.
Emergency brake. This is a fun, well, it's just like a jigsaw puzzle. But it's kind of tricky because a lot of the corners look the same, so you have to put them exactly right. Which I don't think this is exactly right. I'm just trying to get started. So I know that that one is correct. But I think this one goes here, and this one goes here, because I'm looking at that leaf. That goes there, and this goes there. So now I just switch these two, and it should be right. Oh, I forgot to do the middle one. Here we go. Okay, I guess I am wrong. What did I do wrong? Let's see. This.
Left pickaxe and lamp with buell for safekeeping. To open what's closed, lead is the key. Or is it lead is the key? This must have been the sleeping car.
A Tale of Two Dolls. Go back and read that later.
I need 4 numbers to unlock this, and there's, what, 10,000 possible combinations? Guessing could take me a while.
There are a lot of puzzles in this game, which is great. And they are fun puzzles, in my opinion. I think all of them are fun. Okay, let's talk to John.
Hi, you're that Nancy person. How you doing? John Gray.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I've seen your TV show.
Then I don't have to explain what I'm doing.
Oh, heck no. Why, you're measuring the who's-whatsism with your trusty gizmometrometer thing.
Right now I'm taking time-lapse electromagnetic readings and recording background noise. This was Camille's private car. If she had something to do with Laurie's disappearance, analyzing these readings may give me a clue as to Laurie's whereabouts.
Are you saying that Camille's ghost kidnapped Laurie?
What to most people are ghosts are actually temporary distortions in local electromagnetic fields caused by the presence of residual psychic energy generated by the person or persons who frequented that particular locale. That's my working theory, at least.
That's very interesting.
It's all very scientific. But the fact is, Laurie's missing, and I, for one, am doing everything in my power to find her. The vibes I'm getting make me think she could be in serious trouble.
Charlene Purcell thinks Laurie is just playing some kind of joke on us.
Charlene Purcell writes romance novels. End of comment.
What do you think of Tino Balducci?
I kind of feel sorry for the guy. After catching those bank robbers, he can't just be a good cop anymore. He's got to be a great cop. Tough to perform under that kind of pressure.
Is Laurie a friend of yours?
First time I met her was when I boarded this train with all the rest of you. I knew her by reputation, of course, like everyone else who reads the tabloids. It doesn't appear that anyone aboard this train is her friend.
Maybe she doesn't have any friends.
Wouldn't be surprised. Maybe you can be too rich after all.
Thanks for the chat.
Goodbye.
I like John. Okay, here's a
A
slug.
little book of samplers.
A book on samplers, which come in handy.
Sickly Sarah caught a germ so new, it made one of her pretty green eyes turn blue.
There are a lot of clues around here about dolls, which you kind of need to pay attention to because it comes up
Teddy
later.
Eberhardt.
Another doll clue.
This looks like some
yeah,
sort of
okay.
game.
Let's play this game. Which is where we have to get the timing right of jumping over these things. I feel like you have to press it earlier than you think, maybe. And when the song ends, you get something, which I can't remember what you get.
I did it! Wonder what's in here.
Yes. Sheet music, which we can try to play on the piano, but...
Don't do that, please! Those microphones I set up over there are very sensitive. Just about took out my eardrums. You can play that thing when I'm done. I'll let you know when that is, all right?
Okay.
John yells at us.
Looks like Camille was teaching herself how to play the piano. Thomasina O'Neill. It's locked. Looks like some kind of sewing sampler. I wonder if there's a relationship between those symbols and those numbers.
And Awful Ursula is a doll.
I wonder what's under here, and what the deal is with those weird-looking bolts. I need something that will turn the bolts. Hello?
Nancy, hi, it's me.
Hi, Bess.
And me.
Hey, George, what's up?
What's up? You're the one who's on the train with a bunch of famous people. You tell us. This is torture, Nancy. I'm dying of curiosity here.
Bess, just calm down.
Oh, like you're not just as curious as I am. She's the one who insisted we call you Nancy.
Only because you're driving me crazy. I'm supposed to be helping her paint her room, but every other brushstroke she's like, where do you think she is now? How do you think the Hardy Boys are doing? Why do you think she hasn't called? What do you think Laurie Gerard is wearing?
Oh, George, that is so not true. I could care less what Laurie Gerard is wearing. So come on, Nancy. You're on a train full of famous people bound for who knows where. So dish already, would ya?
Bess, calm down. Look what you did. You got paint in my hair.
I'm sorry. You know, actually, that looks kind of cool.
Nice try, Bess.
No, really.
You're just saying that because you're afraid I'll bail and you'll wind up having to paint this dump all by yourself.
George, I kid you not. You should seriously think about doing some major highlights in that color.
What color is it?
Adobe beige.
Nice try, Bess.
What's going on, Nan?
Our hostess has disappeared.
What do you mean, disappeared?
I mean, the train went into a tunnel, everything went dark, and when the train came out of the tunnel, no Laurie. She just disappeared.
Publicity stunt.
My thoughts exactly.
Remember the time she was allegedly kidnapped from her Vegas hotel room?
Yeah, the guy across the hall just happened to have a camera and got it all on tape.
It made the evening news in practically every city in the country. And then there was her daring escape the next morning.
Only it turns out she faked the whole thing.
Of course, she claims her ex-boyfriend faked it to get back at her. She thought she was really being kidnapped.
Like anybody believes that.
Sounds to me like somebody has been spending a lot of time reading the tabloids.
George has.
Very funny. So what else is going on?
Before she disappeared, Laurie told us that the purpose of this train trip is to find out what happened to Jake Hurley, the train's original owner.
Was he murdered or something?
No one knows. He was married to a woman named Camille, but she died, and he eventually vanished while mining for gold. His train was found abandoned in Blue Moon Canyon, Nevada, with no one on board but his dead engineer.
Whoa, spooky.
Have any theories?
My first order of business is to find out what happened to Laurie.
So first Hurley's wife dies, then Hurley vanishes, then the engineer dies, then Laurie vanishes. A pattern, maybe?
Bess, do us all a favor and leave the detective work to Nancy, okay?
Has either of you been to Copper Gorge, Colorado?
Never heard of the place. Why?
That's where the train I'm on is headed. Apparently Jake Hurley buried his wife Camille there after she died on the train.
She died on the train? Ew, creepy.
Jake used to see strange lights at night bobbing alongside the train and thought it was Camille dancing.
Super creepy. Yeah, I just got goosebumps. Which is hard when you're practically covered in paint.
Catch you later.
Let us know what happens.
We have a phone camera for the first time. Yes. view pictures, messaging. And we can call Bess and Home, which Home lets give us a voicemail. I think I went the wrong way. Yeah, I went the wrong way. Okay, so we need to talk to Tino Balducci because he found something supposedly in the dining car. He's set up in Jake Hurley's car.
Hey, Nancy, right?
That's right, Nancy Drew.
Amateur detective, huh? Ever thought about becoming a real detective? You know, like me?
I don't know. Do you like what you do?
I love it. You, heard about those bank robberies I solved, right?
Tell me about them.
Baffling case. Two-man team at 17 banks in 3 states in 5 days. FBI had no idea who the perps were. But after forcing their vehicle to a stop, confronting them, despite the fact that they were armed and giving chase, I single-handedly made the collar.
I heard all they had was a plastic knife from a carry-out chicken place.
You heard wrong. You see, Nancy, when somebody does something really remarkable in this country, the first thing everybody else does is try to tear them down. Reporters, late-night comedians, even some of my fellow officers, all have been spreading vicious lies about me. Why? Because they've never done anything remarkable in their sorry little lives, and they're jealous. Anyway, you should look around in here. Lots of interesting stuff. This was Jake's private car, you know.
So, what do you think happened to Lori?
She could have been kidnapped, she could have been tossed off the train, she could be hiding from us. But I obviously won't know which until I've gathered all the facts.
So, you're gathering facts?
Of course. It may not look it because that's my style. I'm a low-key kind of guy. But hey, don't worry. I'll know the facts when I know the facts. The truth can't be rushed, you know.
I understand that you found something on the floor in the dining car.
Yeah, at first I thought it was an old coin, but it turned out to be some kind of slug.
Do you think it had anything to do with Lori's disappearance?
Nah, probably been lying there for 100 years. May have served a purpose back then, but now, worthless.
May I see it?
Sure. In fact, here, keep it. Wear it around your neck or something. That way, when people ask you where you got it, you can tell them Tino Balducci gave it to you. The Tino Balducci.
Oh, thank you.
What else can I do for you?
Have you had a chance to talk to Charlena Purcell?
Now, why would I want to do a thing like that?
What about John Gray?
The ghost guy? Total quack. Only reason I'd talk to him would be to arrest him for fraud.
Hope I didn't take up too much of your time.
Don't mention it.
Tino Balducci.
I wonder what Jake used this for. Another gemstone.
Finding gemstones, periodic table.
Looks like an old-fashioned cigar box. Wonder why it's locked.
AG. A book on gemstones. Another doll clue.
Camille with Hager Anderson and Chantilly Hildegard. J.H. For Jake Hurley, obviously. Must be Jake's insignia. Another gemstone. Eliza Sandberger.
Krollmeister dolls. So, one of the puzzles of this game is to connect all the pipes. This is the first one we can do because it's the only one you can open without needing anything else. So let's go ahead and just solve this. And luckily, the pipes. Okay, wait, that's not right. Luckily, the pipes don't move other pipes. Like, once I finish this pipe puzzle, I won't have to go back to it.
There, all done.
So one down, I think 3 to
An
go.
old scale. Strange. It seems to be built into the wall. It's locked.
So there's a mysterious door here that apparently
Those
no
symbols
one
look like the
else
ones I
has
saw in that
noticed.
sampler.
And it has a owl and a cherry on it. So to solve this puzzle, we need to light up the owl and cherry symbols here. And you just put both of these on the same
That
side.
square and that duck look very familiar.
And later we'll have to open the square and duck to open that compartment in the dining car. This car has a lot of mechanics.
What do all those colors have to do with silver?
So this is the combination for the cigar box, because it said AG, which is the element for silver. So now we know the answer to that. We can open that. Another slug. This is a journal entry about Naughty Tina, one of the dolls that fell off a shelf and fractured its skull.
Looks like to make this thing, whatever it is, I'm going to need a spyglass, a pickaxe, and a lamp. Citrine, amethyst, zircon, those are all gemstones, I think.
So we will have to fix all of these mechanical things
I wonder what's supposed to go here.
later on in the game. So the gemstones will come
Looks
into
like I need to
play.
enter 8 letters into this thing. The question is, which 8 letters?
That's part of the reason why I like this game so much, is this whole like mechanical situation is really fun. It's like a bunch of puzzles that you put together to figure something out. This is a puzzle to open the door, and you're supposed to click until all of them are depressed. And it's the last one I click, of course. It's always the last one I click. Oh, that was the first one. It's kind of a memory puzzle because you have to remember the order. Yay.
Lori?
Oh my gosh! I never thought you'd be the one to find me. No offense. Nadine?
Nancy. Nancy Drew.
Well, as you can see, I wasn't really spirited away by ghosts or anything. That bookshelf in the dining car, you step on this thing in the floor in there, and it slides open. I practiced disappearing for weeks.
Was anyone else in on the trick?
Just the engineer, and all he did was keep his mouth shut. See, here's the deal. My dad wound up with this train when he bought out Noram Shipping. They'd been storing it in this old warehouse outside St. Louis for so long that everybody had just forgotten about it. Anyway, after like mass begging on my part, Dad had the train restored to working condition and got me an engineer and track permits and all that other stuff until finally, here we are, on our way to find out what happened to Jake Hurley.
I think you were going to explain why you kidnapped yourself.
Oh, right. Well, see, I was one of the first people in like 100 years to set foot on this train, okay? Everything was just the way it was when Jake disappeared. Except, I also found this. It's a letter that Jake wrote in 1901 to his niece back east. He was real paranoid about claim jumpers, which is why he never told anyone where his mine was. But he was also afraid something would happen to him and no one would ever know where it was. So he wrote this letter to his only living relative, Ruth Kensington. Here, take it.
You want me to have it? Why?
Because you found me. See, in that letter, Jake tells Ruth that everything she needs to figure out where his mine is on this train. He also warns her that his wife's spirit is on the train too, which kind of creeps me out. But the thing is, to find Jake's lost mine, we need the train.
How do you know this Ruth person didn't find the mine decades ago?
Mostly because I found that letter in the wastebasket. It was like she'd gotten so ticked off, trying to follow her nutty uncle's clues, that she finally said to heck with the whole thing.
What about the other people you invited on this trip?
If you want to show them that letter, go ahead. It's totally up to you. We're going to Copper Gorge because that's where Jake buried Camille, so I figured his mine might be somewhere around there too. But if you think we need to go somewhere else, you just let me know and I'll have the engineer take us there.
How come you didn't try to find the mine yourself?
Maybe I did. Or maybe I just thought letting other people try to find it would be a good excuse to throw a party. I like parties.
How well do you know your guests?
Well, I don't know you or those Harvey guys at all.
Hardy. Frank and Joe Hardy.
Whatever. I didn't know John Gray before this either, but I love his show, and I figured he'd jump at the chance to investigate an honest-to-goodness haunted train, and now that someone has finally found me, I can finally go meet him for real.
What about Tino Balducci?
I met Tino right after he got famous for solving those robberies. Inviting him here for this was a no-brainer. I mean, what an awesome detective. And those piercing eyes of his, you just know his mind's in there going 90 miles an hour.
How well do you know Charlena Purcell?
I just know her from her books, which are so good. In fact, I just started reading her latest one, The Moon Tells No Lies. See, what I'd really like to do is write romance novels. Everybody who knows me says I'd be really good at it. In fact, a while back, I sent Charlena some ideas, you know, just to see what she thought.
And?
She hated them.
Bye.
As soon as you figure it out, let me know.